All right, well, the elective conference for the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal gets underway in Durban today. For more, let's again cross to our SABC news senior reporter, Ayanda Mhlongo. I do believe that she is with Mzwa Mbeje, our political editor at KZN. Very good afternoon to both of you then this afternoon. So where are we then at this point? I mean, earlier on you had indicated that things are slowly sort of getting underway, but where are we now?
Yeah, Flo, very good afternoon to you once again. We're 6 hours behind time, as we had said, Flo, that this conference was scheduled to get underway, or to start at 10 a.m. This morning. In fact, the ANC yesterday, during that press briefing on the state of readiness for this conference, was saying that they were quite confident that they had concluded all the necessary processes, and that today it was just a matter of the branch delegates, the most important people, of course, that we've been waiting for at this conference, that it was just going to be a matter of them coming through to pick up their tags to ensure that, of course, they have the right people that are inside. We do know that often in conferences, issues around the credentials and members who are not supposed to be in that conference coming in, etc. So those are the things that the ANC was trying to ensure, that it does not get to a point where there are arguments and challenges around the credentials process, which will be quite important before they can even start to move with what I think we're all waiting for, Flo, here, and that is the nominations process. I'm just going to ask our colleague Gwazimanzi just to show our viewers. Of course, we've been saying that this is a highly contested conference for the position of chairperson alone. 6 leaders are vying for that position, but you can see that despite it being such a highly contested conference in a province that has been so deeply divided, the delegates are in a very high spirit, a very jovial mood. Here they are singing, cheering, singing ANC slogans and songs as they are slowly making their way into the venue here. A number of the delegates, of course, have also started already inside the main hall, and the members as well of the National Executive Committee of the ANC in their numbers have come out here to be part of this conference. As you're saying, Flo, I'm not alone. I'm with the SABC's political editor, Mzwa Mbeje. Afternoon, Mzwa. I'm just looking at, and you've been looking at and smiling, seeing, this jovial mood of these delegates. Opposed when you came here to KwaZulu-Natal, looking at the divisions and the history that this province has been through, the political killings, the no-go areas, a good sign to see these delegates so jovial, so happy and excited to be part of this conference.
A very good afternoon to you, Ayanda, and of course the viewers. You know what, as we were speaking off camera, we're basically saying this conference is not that tense, and we know how the tensions can rise in this province. But perhaps the fact that you have about 6 or 7 people contesting tells you that no one is willing to really die for someone else. Actually, in this instance, literally, because we've seen in this province that people tend to die. But what really is also of concern to me is that we are 6 hours behind schedule. So these, as much as they are branch delegates, these are leaders in their own communities. So what message are they sending if they are not able to get their house in order properly on time? So at the end of the day, it's not really about them. It's about this vehicle they are using, the ANC, to serve our communities. So if they seem to be struggling to put their house in order in terms of getting their vehicle to move, honestly, it becomes a big challenge. Perhaps the ANC may have to rethink how it organizes some of these things. Yes, they are having a conference in 4 months' time, 4 or 5. These are the things, really, for me, they should look deep and discuss, because at the end of the day, it's about them and the communities. Are the communities well served by how they do things? It's a big question.
An important question you say them, and also just looking at the delegates. I mean, these are members of the ANC that have been chosen by their branches, over 900, it's 901 branches in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, a membership of 240,000. Of course here, the delegates, it's 1,617 voting delegates. These are the men and women that have been mandated by their branches to come and represent them. Not only, of course, often or not we speak about the election, the elective, the election as part of this conference, but they're also here to discuss policy issues. They're here to reflect on where the ANC in this province is. So apart from, you know, the happiness and the mood, there's a huge responsibility on the shoulders of these men and women as they are going to decide on the next leaders that are going to take this province forward.
Especially, Ayanda, in a province which has had so many disasters, natural and man-made. Natural in the sense that we've had floods here, there's nothing we could do about it. But man-made in the sense that people of this province, and of course Gauteng, looted given what happened the July unrest last year. So given that these people have a massive responsibility to really get hold of the challenges in this province, my worry, I still say this, if something as simple as just going and register and getting into a conference is so difficult, how are you going to be able to comprehend things that you have to sit down and do that will improve the quality of lives of other people? These are the people who need to understand what PMFA is so that they'll be able to prioritize the requirements of this province. I'm not saying they are not able to do that, but sometimes optics and how they do things, those are really important. But of course, they are starting now. Let's see. We have seen, Ayanda, in other provinces that the issue, for example, of credentials have effectively, in inverted commas, collapsed or delayed the conferences. In Gauteng, we had a conference of over 2 weeks. In Eastern Cape, the conference only set on the last day. Here, we are 6 hours later. Is it going to be the same as other provinces, or they'll go the Limpopo example? By the way, we need to give credit where it's due. Limpopo was able to do things according to schedule.
And we're not even at the process of the credentials as yet. I mean, this is just the first step of getting the branches into the main hall for the conference to kick underway. And of course, we must say that the National Treasurer of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, is scheduled to open this conference. And no word yet on whether or not the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, will over the next 2 days come through to be part of this conference. Still a lot more to talk about, but we are here on the ground and we will continuously give our viewers the blow-by-blow coverage of this 9th provincial conference of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal. Flo?